Are
Check,
we good? All
check.
everybody ready?
1, 2,
Thank
check,
you.
check. 1, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Electoral Commission. On this particular briefing on a Monday evening, I'm joined in this audience by the Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Simon Mabolo. Next to him is the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Commissioner Musutu Muepia. Next to Commissioner Muepia is the Vice Chairperson of the IEC, Commissioner Love. Next to me is Commissioner Masuku, Dr. Masuku. Next to Dr. Masuku is Commissioner Mashinini. Next to Commissioner Mashinini is Commissioner Judge Daya. All of the commissioners of the Electoral Commission are with us this evening. I'm going to allow also in this audience, by the way, we've got the executives of the Electoral Commission, and welcome to the members of the media. Thank you so much for making this time to join the Electoral Commission. I'm going to allow the Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Simon Mabolo, to brief us on developments. CEO.
Good evening. Our statement reads in the following manner. Over 27.79 million voters, the highest since the dawn of democracy in South Africa, are eligible to cast their votes in the 2024 national and provincial elections. The voters' roll will be certified by the Chief Electoral Officer tomorrow, 12 March 2024. It will be published by making it available at the Commission's head office, each of the 9 provincial offices, and all municipal offices. The certification follows the finalization of objections by the Commission on the provisional voters' roll that was published for inspection on the 26th of February this year. Certification of the roll signifies confirmation of those citizens who are eligible to vote in the forthcoming election. Electronic copies of the voters' roll, which contain the redacted identity numbers of voters in compliance with the Protection of Personal Information Act, will be provided to all political parties and independent candidates who have qualified to contest the elections. Since the voters' roll was first compiled ahead of the 1999 national and provincial elections, it has shown a steady growth of over 35% and contains the highest number of registered voters, recording an increase of 9.6 million since the 1999 general election. And then we do have in the statement the growth, an indication of the growth over successive elections. In 1999, we're at 18.1 million, 2004, 20.6 million, 2009, 23.1 million, 2014, 25.3 million, 2019, 26.7 million, and now 2024, 27.7 million. The provincial breakdown of the registered voters indicate that Gauteng remains the highest voting bloc, followed by the provinces of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape, respectively. The highlight of the certified roll is the increase in the rate of representation by persons in the age cohort 18 to 39 years. This age band accounts for 42%, or 11.7 million voters on the roll. In fact, the increase in this age category from the 2021 local government election is over 200%, which vindicates the continued focus by the Commission and other stakeholders to invert the underrepresentation of this age category. The well-entrenched trend of there being more females on the voters' roll continues. Of the 27.7 million voters, 15 million are female, and that represents over 55%. The introduction of the online self-service voter registration modality has contributed to the increased rate of registration by younger voters in the country, as well as by citizens who are resident outside of the Republic. In this regard, we provide the 10 top countries with the registration of citizens in a descending order. London, 19,525. The Hague, 5,574. Canberra, 2,609. Dubai, 2,574. Dublin, 2,342. Wellington, 1,668. Abu Dhabi, 1,416. New York, the Consular Generalate, 1,379. Washington, 1,228. Berlin, 1,188. As regards candidate nomination, compliance verification of the candidate nomination submissions is currently underway. In terms of the law, a party submission must contain a list of candidates accompanied by payment of the applicable deposit for it to be compliant. In respect of unrepresented parties, the submission must, in addition, be accompanied by proof that the requisite number of signatures have been uploaded on the nomination portal. The requirements for independent candidates are that a prescribed nomination form must be submitted by the cut-off time, accompanied by the prescribed form confirming that candidate has submitted the requisite number of signatures and payment of the relevant deposit. Failure by a party or independent candidate to comply with any of these foundation nomination requirements cannot be remedied and will result in the disqualification of the affected party or independent candidate. On Saturday, 9 March 2024, the Commission reported that it had become aware of lists of candidates that were being circulated on social media platforms. Additionally, the Commission indicated that the list contained hallmarks of information that suggested the information emanated from a user inside the Commission. For that reason, an inquiry was instituted to establish the circumstances of the unauthorized circulation and the person or persons responsible. Following investigations over the weekend and the early hours of today, the Commission is able to provide a preliminary report as follows. The investigation has narrowed the source of the disclosure to a workstation that has been used to generate and store those reports. Later, the said reports were deleted from the workstation. Earlier today, that workstation was secured and imaged in the presence of the official whose credentials were used to generate the reports. A forensic analysis of that computer is currently underway. The Commission reiterates its regret for the unauthorized disclosure of the list and the disclosure of personal information of candidates on those lists. The Commission continues to cooperate with the information regulator in this regard. And corrective action in terms of applicable labor laws is underway, and the official has been requested to make submission as to why their contract of employment should not be terminated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO. I'm going to allow questions, open the floor for questions. You introduce yourself and the media house you come from, and then pose the question. Thank you very much. I already see a hand from this side and another one that side. The team from IEC on the floor will assist me just to make sure I don't miss any hand. Let's proceed.
Thank you. It's Kani Mapanga from SABC News. The first question is regarding the official opposition's letter to the West, asking for elections to be monitored. Of course, the inference that has been drawn from this is that it casts doubts and aspersions on the country's electoral system, 30 years into our democracy. And then secondly, the ANC and the MK party will be heading to the electoral court next week. Does this matter, or the finalization of this matter, have any bearing or derail the work of the IEC ahead of the May elections? Thanks.
So the hand this side. Is there another one further down? Let's proceed. Thank you.
Okay. No. Puleli Chiti Jones from ENZA. Firstly, just questions around the unauthorized circulation of candidate lists. Is the ICA able to reveal how many parties' lists were leaked? That's number one. Two, what are you doing to strengthen your systems to ensure this doesn't happen again? And three, how many individuals were involved in this particular matter as well? Was it a group? Was it one individual? And of course, the question around the DA is reiterated by my colleague. Is the IEC looking into having more observers to monitor and, of course, ensure that they participate in ensuring the accuracy of the elections that they take place in May? Thank you.
Kosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. My question is regarding the credibility of the Independent Electoral Commission. So with the leaking of the ANC's list, these year's elections are dubbed to be the most important elections, and before even the start of the polls, we already have a leak. So what measures will the IEC put in place to ensure that these elections are credible, are transparent, and are fair? Because political parties will weaponize this leak and throw allegations towards the credibility of the IEC. So my question is, what is the IEC doing to ensure that as we head to the elections on 29 May, that the polls will be free and fair? Thank you very much.
The last hand on my left, unless if that hand has been covered. All right, looks like it's covered. CEO, if we may please deal with the issues on my table. Thank you.
Well, as a general principle, the Commission believes that elections must be observed because observation gives us a tenet of credibility in and of itself. Nonetheless, we are alive to the fact that, excuse me, that the letter by the DA is directly to an executive in another country. That's not how ordinarily the observation process works. Often the observation works at the multilateral level, such as at the AU level, SADC level, Commonwealth level, and so on and so on and so on. And in the past, invitations have been extended to those multilateral bodies to come and observe the elections. So I think all the role players need to be alive to the fact that the issues of the need to preserve the integrity of the democratic process in the respective countries. And perhaps we leave it at that for now. The matter between MK, the ANC, and regarding the registration of the party, we are in the hands of the courts. We have said all that we needed to say in terms of our filing in the court. And whichever way the court calls the matter, we'll take that to be the position going forward. As far as we are aware, only 2 parties were affected by the unauthorized disclosure of the list of candidates. What measures have been taken? A number of measures have been taken since the matter came to light on Friday. One, the reports section of the candidate nomination system have been, or rather access to that has been scaled down to ensure that there isn't a wanton access to the reporting sections of the reports. There's also heightened awareness created to all staff members. There's an investigation that we undertook as we report, and corrective action is being taken in terms of the internal policies of the IC. How many people were involved? At the moment, the established facts indicate that there was 1 person. The investigation is ongoing precisely to preclude the possibility that there may have been other officials who did the same. So we've not reached the conclusion point of the investigation, but we really have to cover all bases to ensure that all possibilities are precluded. The credibility of the commission is not dependent on a single factor. It's an important factor, yet not the only determinant of the credibility of the commission. In fact, the credibility of the commission is inbuilt in the legal framework in the manner in which it is structured. Firstly, let's take the voters' roll as an example. Before the voters' roll is certified, there are opportunities for participants to raise objections. They're given an opportunity to inspect the roll and to raise objections if they believe people have been registered other than through the prescribed provisions. And only once those are resolved is the voters' roll certified. That goes into the integrity of the process. 2, candidate nominations themselves, we will in time publish all the list of nominated candidates and offer South Africans and all stakeholders an opportunity to raise objections. But let's be mindful that such objections must be grounded in the constitutional provisions as well as in the law. The Commission will again consider those objections and make the determinations accordingly. And where people remain aggrieved, they may approach the Electoral Court for appropriate relief. Now, the voting and results process happens before party agents and observers. The political parties, independent candidates would have their observers accredited to each voting station so that they observe the voting process, they observe the counting process. And within the result centers themselves, political parties will be invited, and they'll be able to call on the images of the result slips against the captured result slips. So the whole process really is built on a measure of transparency. The foundational principle at work in how the IEC works is grounded on transparency. So yes, the incident that we are reporting this evening, it's revolting, and it ought not to have happened. Hence the regret that we express. But that is not the totality of the determinant of the credibility of the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, SCO. If we have covered all the hands, I don't see any other additional hands. I'm going to, all right, Luti.
Hi, it's Nkosinathi Shazi again from Power FM News. I have a second question, and this is regarding load shedding. I know we're set to vote on the 29th of May. Has the IEC applied for an exemption for load shedding? Will load shedding be a factor with regards to vote counting? So yeah, my last question is a generic load shedding question. Will we be affected, or has the IEC applied for some sort of exemption? Thank you.
Sorry, Kay, can I just clarify on that first issue? Did the DA ever approach the IEC with concerns, and did they give the IEC any evidence that could support the claims that were made in that letter that circulated in the public domain?
Thank you very much. Looks like those were the only two questions. CEO, as we wrap up, thank you very much.
The DA indicated their intention through the multi-party charter that they were going to be inviting international players. What was not indicated to the IEC was that it was going to be an invite to an executive arm of another country. So that was never clarified with the Commission. But as I indicated, the principle which you find applicable in most democracies is that invitations are directed at multilateral institutions for obvious reasons, that there are no bilateral relations involved, but it's the world in its different architectural manifestations that looks at whether that democracy or that election holds to the international standards. Load shedding, the Commission has had interactions with the Ministry of Electricity, and a task team has been established between the Commission and ESCOM. Plans are being worked out to ensure that there's less disruption to the energy system during elections. But even so, we cannot, with utmost certainty, say there won't be load shedding on election day, and we are preparing alternative sources of lighting and energy so that the electoral process is not unduly disrupted by energy issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring this press briefing to an end. Let me thank commissioners of the Electoral Commission, as well as the Chief Electoral Officer for joining us this evening. On that note, thank you very much, and drive safely back home. Bye-bye.